Next on Paranormal, caught on camera. A tender moment between a girl and her departed grandma
Grammy.
is interrupted by a passing specter.
I watched this video and I'm screaming, I'm crying, and I'm like, I'm not staying here tonight.
A family home in Oklahoma is invaded by a ghost.
After we saw the shadow and stuff, we were kind of concerned, like, it's definitely weird.
A doll on display in Florida.
Did you record that?
I did.
Oh my God.
That's been haunted for 100 years.
Whoa.
Whatever that is in the background, it ain't human.
And even more paranormal footage you have to see
Oh, there's someone running?
to believe.
No. What the What is that?
If you have young children, you might be used to sweeping their bedrooms for monsters, just to reassure them that they're safe. But the next time your child claims they saw something strange in the darkness, it may be worth checking just a little more carefully. Case in point, a 4-year-old in Oklahoma who made seemingly outrageous claims to his parents about something they assumed to be a figment of his imagination. Until that figment, eventually, made an appearance. August 2019, in Owasso, Oklahoma. While Jarek Snyder is away at work, his family relaxes at their new house. His wife and dog in the home office, and children watching television. When something strange and unsettling happens. Watch closely. Did you catch it? Watch again. On the staircase, a shadow seems to peek around the corner of the wall. Just as the front door unlocks itself, startling Jarek's family and sending them running to check the security camera footage while getting Jarek on the phone.
I'm Jarek Snyder, and these are my videos. So my wife and kids were watching the video. I was watching it remotely from my work. We kind of discovered the actions all kind of at the same time while we were all on the phone together, kind of figuring out what was going on, trying to figure out if somebody had came into our home or not, and that's when we saw the shadow. Then activated my alarm panel from the wall, unlocking my door, which got everybody's attention. Once it got everybody's attention, they were looking into it, realized it was disarmed from the panel, and that's when they ended up leaving the house, calling the police. Initially, I was very kind of concerned that someone had got into my home, and then after we saw the shadow and stuff, we were more like odd, kind of concerned, like it's definitely weird.
Security cam footage can be the best thing on earth and the worst thing. It's the best thing when you see something that you need to see. It's the worst thing when you catch something inside your home that's not supposed to be there. And this is a prime example of that.
When I see that what looks like little strands of hair kind of like come out from behind the wall on the staircase, I just imagine a child or a little girl or a woman or someone with long hair that has to be crawling on all fours down the stairs, right? So just the image, when I try to put the whole picture together, is a little spooky.
But for as spooky as that is, it's the door unlocking itself that just puts this in a whole different category. I found this so frightening.
So do Jarek and his family. But they remain level-headed. That is, until another incident takes place a few months later. This time, involving Jarek's wife on the second floor of the home.
is a toy in my son's room that you have to pull a mechanical part on the back to activate it. As my kids were gone to their grandparents, all the rooms had been cleaned. There wasn't toys supposed to be out and about. And the toy, as my wife got to the top of the stairs, activated, startled her, which made her decide to go back down the stairs real quick to get me.
A toy that requires manipulation to make noise suggests that there's something else there. Something pulled that string. We know things make noise on their own. Things usually don't move into the center of the room and pull their own strings.
And it wasn't the first time. Strange things had happened in that room.
My youngest son, who was rooms that was where the toy is located, he, when we first moved in, was telling us that he was seeing a red man in his room at night. And with the move and the changing and all that, we kind of at first kind of thought it was just an overactive imagination. Of course, we comforted him and made sure, there's nobody there, there's no monsters in the closet. My son seeing the visions of the red man and then the shadow and then the toy all happening around the same time. We kind of concluded that all those were kind of tied together.
There seems to be some sort of attachment to this child because the toys are getting, interacted with in his room. Things like that make me feel like there could be some sort of spirit presence that is specifically attached to the young boy or trying to communicate with him.
Fearing exactly that, Jarek takes action.
We actually had a family member who's an ordained and came and we prayed over the house. Just to make sure there's no evil or demonic spirits, especially with what my son had been experiencing in the same room prior. And a lot of the overall abundance of stuff had kind of stopped after that.
And if it ever does come back, Jarek will approach it with an open mind.
We try to take it at face value first, and we try to debunk it best we can. And then when you can't, with whatever's left is what you got to work with. We had some really strange activity happening, and we tried to adjust and move on with our lives after it occurred to us.
Coming up, a woman filming her young daughter in Ohio.
You giving hugs? Grammy.
Captures a terrifying entity. When a loved one gets cremated, there are several ways to handle their ashes. Like scattering them, placing them in a cemetery, or keeping them inside your home. Though some cultures feel that this last option may cause problems. No one knows that better than a woman in Ohio, who soon after bringing her mother's ashes into her home, captured something absolutely terrifying.
Grammy.
September 2018, Hartville, Ohio. A few weeks after Amanda Slaughter's mother passes away, she receives her remains in an urn, and wanting to keep her close, places the ashes inside a curio cabinet. One night, Amanda notices her young daughter talking to her grandma and hugging the cabinet, which Amanda finds adorable. So she pulls out her phone and starts recording.
You giving hugs?
Watch closely.
Grammy.
Did you see it? Watch again. As a dark figure appears to dash by the camera, which Amanda isn't even aware of until she shares the video with her husband, who's on his way to work.
I'm Amanda Slaughter, and this is my video.
You giving hugs?
I was like, okay, this is kind of cute. I'm gonna send the video to my husband. He calls me literally not even a minute after I sent it and said, what are you doing? And I said, just folding laundry. Why? Did you see the video? He said, yeah, I need you to sit down and rewatch that video. I'm on my way home. Mind you, he had just left for work.
You giving hugs? Grammy.
I watched this video and I'm screaming, I'm crying, and I'm like, I'm not staying here tonight. I was like, I'm going to stand outside until James, my husband, gets home.
Even more telling and disturbing. Prior to this, Amanda had been feeling a presence in the house.
A couple days after my mom passed away, I was getting really, really, really weird, vibes. Whenever I was laying in bed at night sleeping or trying to sleep, I had my fan on and I would wake up really hot in the middle of the night and I would feel like somebody was standing in front of my bedroom fan right next to me because I would feel no airflow, be like, babe, move. And I'd be like, oh crap, he's in bed. That wasn't him.
So, what exactly is it that Amanda captured on camera?
Grammy.
It doesn't look like a person. I mean, it looks like some type of darker energy. It doesn't have the defined limbs by any means. It doesn't have the stride. I watched it over and over, and I made the mistake of freezing on it. And then you can really realize how creepy and bizarre this thing is.
You know, we had a previous video that had what looked like a child streaking across the screen. That looked human. That looked childlike. This looks like something else. We have this black mass, this shadow, and the way it moves is extremely unnatural.
When I slowed it down at a few moments, looked as though its head was turning toward the little girl at the cabinet to look more directly at her. And that just gave me chills.
It gives Amanda chills too, because she believes the figure actually reminds her of her mom.
Towards the end of her life, she lost a lot of weight and she's got long dark hair like I do. The last pictures that I have of her is what that figure looked like to me. And that was what was very scary to me.
Scary, because Amanda and her mom didn't always have a great relationship.
I was like, what if this is the negative bad side of my mother?
My advice in this type of situation is don't panic. Don't freak out and automatically assume that there's something big, bad, and scary in your home.
You giving hugs?
This may have been just a one-off pop-in by some sort of spirit, and it may not even be anything negative.
Regardless, Amanda and her husband take some precautionary measures.
So we have a family friend who's a preacher, and he happened to see the video and said, that's a demon. We need to bless your house. So we had our house blessed. I was just like, okay, whatever the hell we got to do, let's do it.
The house blessing seems to have worked.
I haven't caught anything. I also haven't been trying to catch anything because I'm scared of welcoming in something, whatever that was, I think it's gone. I want it to be gone.
Unfortunately, for Amanda, something about the situation still feels unresolved, despite, or maybe because of, the 7 years that have passed.
Then I'm like, we need to get these ashes buried somewhere because I feel like I don't even want them in my house anymore. I cannot bring myself to open the curio cabinet and clean it, and it's so dusted. And there's actually a light inside that's right above her urn, and that light has fallen down. I told my husband, I'm like, you need to, fix that light in there. He's like, hell no, I'm not opening that cabinet. I'm like, yeah, I don't blame you.
You giving hugs? Grammy.
Coming up, a man's trail camera captures evidence of a multi-dimensional Bigfoot. Sasquatch. While there have been thousands of reported sightings over the years, there has never been a confirmed capture of one. Which begs the question, why not? Many believe it's because the creature we know as Bigfoot is not simply some missing primate link that happens to be good at hiding, but rather an almost elemental being capable of traveling from one place to another in ways that we can barely comprehend. And if you're looking for proof, consider the footage of one man in Wisconsin who may have captured one of these powerful beings in the act. August 2024, in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. Brandon Luzier has set up a trail cam at a friend's property, hoping to capture footage of wildlife in the area. But when he reviews the videos after a few months, one in particular catches his attention.
My name is Brandon Luzier, and I filmed this video. The video was a deer set off the motion camera, which was nothing new. But in the background, I could see some lights kind of flickering around in the woods. This was way back in the distance, and it was behind a tree, so that kind of eliminated it being a bug. So I zoomed in on that video to take a closer look.
And what he sees is stunning. In the woods, toward the back of the property, a misty form, seemingly transparent, maneuvering in and out of the trees.
This light goes around the tree and kind of circles through the brush.
And when it stops for a moment,
you can see its shoulders and its head, and it looks directly at where the camera and the deer were, and then it kind of just moves to the side back behind the tree. I don't know what it was, whether it's a Bigfoot, a spirit, elemental, but whatever it was unexpected.
Watching this clip, it's unsettling. It's very strange because yes, it does at moments appear to be creature-like, creature-esque, but it's also a little fluid and kind of manifesting and then kind of dissipating.
The brush is moving around. You definitely get the impression that something is in there. And all of a sudden, this creature stands up and we get a look at what appears to be a face.
It is almost as if something either forms or emerges from the trees that has, I think, a pretty distinct head with some facial features and even the shape of shoulders.
Yeah, I think initially when I first watched it, what seemed like it was a Bigfoot to me was how tall it was.
So Brandon sets up an experiment to see if he can get a more specific measurement.
I got a Bigfoot stick that I put together, and we're gonna measure the height.
And sets out to the area where the creature was spotted.
So when I took that board out there with my wife, we really just wanted to kind of get a comparison for that video to see how tall it was.
Holy cats. 12 feet.
Incredibly, even at 12 feet, the measuring board doesn't suffice.
When I lined up next to that tree, we initially saw that it was going to be taller than that measuring board. So when we reviewed that video and really saw that it was probably coming in at 15 feet, that seemed large even for a Bigfoot.
Large, certainly, but not unheard of.
As strange as it sounds, there have been a lot of different reports of people in Alaska and other regions seeing Bigfoot creatures that exceed 10 feet. Seeing something that truly is monstrous like that can be quite intimidating, but I think that Brandon has captured a Sasquatch on video in Wisconsin.
But if this really is Bigfoot, why is it not the lumbering, hairy beast we've come to expect.
Some people believe them to be physical, animal-like, bleeding, living, breathing, eating beings. And others believe them to be a little bit more in the ethereal realm where they could come in and out of our dimensional reality.
The Native American tribes talk about them having 1 foot in the spiritual realm, 1 foot in the physical realm, and this is just another example of that, where we see this transference of what looks like from spirit to matter and back again. And I do believe that they have this ability, these capabilities that we're still trying to understand, where they can cloak or go invisible and actually pop in and out.
Brandon is on the same page.
Out in the forest, I feel like there can be spirits that watch over the animals, take care of the land, take care of the trees. So something like that could have been what this was, but I'm definitely not sure, but it's very intriguing.
Whatever Brandon caught that day, one thing's for certain. He's eager for more.
Over the winter, I set up those cameras. They run off of solar power, so they can kind of just take care of themselves. So now I'm going ahead and reviewing all of that footage. And so it's going to take me a bit to get through it, but I'm looking forward to it. And I'll probably see if I can go camping out there a night or two as well.
Coming up, is this infamous doll responsible for this phantom hand? Haunted dolls are one of the most common tropes in the paranormal. And while many believe the primary reason for that is as simple as a shared likeness with humans, for one particular doll, now on display in Florida, a visual likeness was only the beginning. Because this doll became so intertwined with its living owner that their bond became magical. And that magic is, seemingly, still very much present today.
Whoa!
(2021) in Key West, Florida. Within the walls of the Fort East Martello Museum sits one of the most haunted objects in the world. Robert the doll. An artifact now fully cared for by one man.
My name is David Sloan, and this is my video. I'm Robert the doll's doll tender, and I've done that for about 30 years. Robert the doll, he came to Key West around 1904. He's given as a gift to a boy named Gene Otto, and the boy became one with the doll. And then whenever he got in trouble for things, he'd say, "I didn't do it. Robert did it." And then this continued through his adulthood. And the word started getting around town that, oh, there's this enchanted doll. That's what they used to call him, as the enchanted doll. Once the doll went on display, I told people, you gotta go to the museum, ask them to see the doll, ask them to bring him out.
Robert the doll has been considered the most haunted doll throughout history, and paranormal researchers have talked about these incredible experiences with this particular object.
Everyone who's encountered the doll afterwards talks about it changing its facial expression, causing various things to happen. So this really is like one of the most haunted dolls we have record of.
It's a magical doll. And that's what's inside Robert, is this magic.
Magical enough to show off to the world.
We offer the paranormal experience, where people can come in and they get to hear the entire story. We do like a 30-minute ghost tour of the fort, and then 30 minutes of the Robert the doll experience, where people sit down and get to hear his full story, and we do different experiments trying to get his spirit to come out and interact.
Which sometimes he does. with the help of a trigger object that might be easy for an entity to manipulate. In this case, a ball placed on top of his case.
I said, Robert, if you have any issues, you just push that ball to let me know you don't like what's going on if you don't like somebody.
And according to David, across nearly 6 years,
He's received over 1,000 letters.
He doesn't like you talking
Did you
about
get
that?
that? Did you record that?
I think I did.
Robert has pushed the ball only 13 times.
It seems like it's completely still. No one's walking around. No one's bumping that box, and then he just kind of flies off the ledge. That's pretty cool.
There's almost no doubt this is Robert's doing. You know, kind of flexing his power, so to speak.
I mean, there's so much activity. Things happen at the fort almost every night.
Perhaps none stranger than on one specific evening in 2021, when David is taking some visitors through Robert's story, and the woman seated in the middle says she feels something touch her knee.
As soon as she said that, I pull out my phone. I'm like, ooh, good, let me see if I can capture something.
And just as soon as he does, watch closely.
If there's anything over, whoa, ha ha!
Did you catch it? Watch again, in slow motion. In a back room, just above one of the people on the tour. A shadowy hand seems to reach out from the darkness, just as an orb seems to fly at David's camera.
If there's anything over, whoa, ha ha! I saw the orb shoot right at me. In the audio, you can hear me go, ha ha, and I can laugh. I'm like, yeah, I saw something. And it wasn't until about 2 months later, I started looking through my videos, and I'm watching that video, and I see the hand come out. And I look at it, and I'm like, what the?
You can see all the different fingers, and it almost seems, even besides the hand, it almost looks like there's movement along with it, as if something is kind of manifesting and going back out.
I know that there's no way that someone is going to be in that area because it is very much locked down for security purposes during these late night investigations. So whatever that is in the background, it ain't human.
It might not be human, but it's also not necessarily evil. Because despite what you may have read, Robert the Doll is anything but.
What I think people need to understand is Robert's not evil. Robert's magic. And I think if people get to know Robert, they're gonna find a lot of magic in themselves too. Did you record that?
I think I did.
Oh my God.
Coming up, a family in Chile is spellbound by a mysterious object over the ocean.
El Salvador.
Because of its malleability, constructional versatility, and electrical conductivity, among other uses, copper is considered one of the Earth's most valuable minerals. Which is why, in 2024 alone, 23 million metric tons of it were mined worldwide. Well, by humans, anyway. Because if the footage from one man in Chile is any indication, that number could possibly be much, much higher if we include the extraterrestrials.
El Salvador.
March 22nd, 2025, in Antofagasta, Chile. Orlando Rosas is at a gender reveal party on the beach, celebrating with friends and family, when they all suddenly spot something over the ocean that stops them in their tracks. It's a long, flat object, hovering and pulsating with light, blowing the minds of Orlando and his cohorts.
El Salvador.
My name is Orlando Rosas, and this is my video. We were all shocked and in awe, staring at it and recording with our cell phones. And we started feeling uneasy, anxious, trying to figure out what it was. It looked like a very large object, bright, very bright, and it seemed metallic. It was a tense atmosphere, and there was uncertainty in the air. We didn't know what we were witnessing.
This is one of the best UFO clips I've seen. I mean, so much of what we see are lights in the night sky, which are engaging and intriguing when they can't be explained by typical phenomena, but this is weird.
It seems to be a flat or perhaps cylindrical object that pulsates a bright white beam of light that pans across from left to right and then repeats that motion.
That looked like a newer model UFO. That might have been a 2025, because the way that thing was looking sharp and sleek with the new light kit on it, oh my gosh. You can tell when an alien just got a new car, because they gonna ride around the block a couple times and let you see it.
The creepier part about it is that it's just sitting there. It's not necessarily going up or down. This is just stationary, as if air is not affecting it or nothing. That's what makes it so unique.
The object may be unique, but its oceanside location is anything but.
A lot of researchers have been talking about this in the past, but seems to be gaining more steam, is that these UFOs are actually hiding in our oceans. More and more pilots, Navy personnel, Air Force, military from all over the world are seeing these objects emerging and entering these oceans and seas. So it seems as if we might be dealing with potentially underwater bases, and maybe these aliens are not coming from some other planet. They're here living alongside us on Earth.
And the specific region this particular object was spotted over also seems to have some significance.
There is precedent of something strange above Antofagasta. In the late 1960s and mid-1970s, there were reports of a multicolored cigar-shaped object seen in the sky. And as recently as 2018, the crew of 6 commercial aircraft simultaneously spotted triangular shapes moving about these skies. So whatever is taking place in Chile, it seems to be part of a larger pattern.
And that larger pattern may be tied to something that Orlando has intimate knowledge of.
I've been working in the mining area for many years, in the northern part of the country. Here in the north, in the desert area, where people work in mining, people tell many stories about UFOs.
Atacama and Antofagasta have some of the largest concentrations of copper in the world. And so I would find that to be, especially for such an energetically stimulating metal, to be really intriguing to any type of extraterrestrial being that's looking to get their hands on these precious metals for their own needs.
Whatever it was, and whatever the reason for its visit, Orlando just appreciates that he was there to see it.
I'm grateful for the experience, because seeing something like that is very special and gets engraved in your mind forever. To me, this confirms that we're not alone.
Coming up, a group of friends on a drive.
Oh, what the Oh, there's someone running? No.
Catch sight of a speedy shadow figure.
What is that?
Legend tripping is the practice by which a person visits a specific location, sometimes given to them by an app, in search of a story. And while there are no guarantees that that story will be interesting, if the location and the time of day are just so, one could get very lucky. Depending, of course, on one's definition of lucky. Just ask one group of friends in Texas who traveled to an unknown spot on a map for fun.
They want us to go over there.
And came away with a mind-blowing, paranormal experience.
No, what the what is that?
June 2024, in McAllen, Texas. It's 11 p.m., and Devin Rios, John Garcia, and 2 other friends are using an app that gives users random coordinates to travel to and then explore, sometimes referred to as legend tripping. And only a minute or 2 after they arrive at their set destination,
You're literally going to dirt roads.
a dead-end dirt road in the middle of nowhere,
They want us to go over there.
the 4 friends witness something truly bizarre. Watch closely.
The road area, maybe we'll see the. Oh, what the? Oh, there's someone running. No. What is that? There's someone running. What is that? What is that though? What is that? Why is someone running? No, lower it down, lower it down. You're dumb as I lower my window. You can see. Let's go.
Watch again, zoomed in and in slow motion. In the distance, a figure, dark as night, and moving supernaturally fast.
What is that? What is that?
I'm Devin. This is John. And this is our video.
Oh, what is that?
All of a sudden, we just see something running across, like super fast, like really fast, like didn't look human, like it ran super fast.
Dude, that's too fast.
And we're like, what was that? Like, we're just all freaking out. We don't know what's going on.
You're dumb as I lower my window. You can see. Let's go.
Something very large, very dark is running completely. You can see this is a bipedal type of dark creature running at a speed impossible for a human to run.
If it's on foot, faster than a human being absolutely should be able to move, just sort of racing across this open, abandoned field behind this blockade. Who would be out there? Who would be doing this?
Dude, that's too fast though. It's fast, right?
It seems to be concentrated darkness. Whatever light ambient from the moon or their car doesn't seem to reflect off of it.
No light reflecting, but seemingly emanating.
What is that? What is that though?
I think the spookiest moment is when we get a little flash that shows a glowing light at the front of this, whether that's this creature's eyes glowing, whether that's some sort of lamp that's on it, who knows, but it just makes it so spooky.
It does look like the eyes glow at the end, and that's kind of creepy because I don't think human eyes glow.
So if not human, then what?
I think it was like a skinwalker or some type of shadow figure because the eyes glowing and then it disappearing. Like, how is it just gonna disappear like in midair? I don't understand that. That's what I think.
It was probably like a demonic spirit.
So I know it had to be something. Like, there's no way that's human. You can't convince me otherwise.
Dude, that's too fast though. It's fast, right? Yes.
Considering the location of the sighting and the figure's astonishing speed, Devin may be onto something.
Skinwalkers are sometimes described as half man, half wolf type creature. They're dark and shadowy and are reported to this day, often by long-haul truckers who are out on these lonely desert roads in the Southwest in the middle of the night, when all of a sudden they see a figure pacing them at 60, 70, 80 miles an hour.
Dude, that's too fast though. It's fast, right? Yeah. Dude, go. Oh, you're done.
This is classic legend tripping. When folklorists describe that sort of moment of excitement when people go in search of a story or a legend and then encounter something, it's always laughter, screaming, shrieking, kind of collective freak out. I mean, this was the perfect capture of that sort of traditional moment, which is, I think, why we pursue stuff like this.
An exhilarating, if terrifying, event that left the pair with one hard lesson.
If you're gonna go like to random spots, you gotta be careful because you don't know what you're gonna see over there.
Oh, there's someone running? No.
You gotta be prepared to see anything. Never know what you're gonna see.
What is that though? What is that? Why is someone running?
What should you do in the event you witness something paranormal?
Did you record that?
Here are some tips to get it all on camera. Check your footage, and then
Grammy.
check it again. Understand when to push boundaries.
It wants us to go over there.
And when to stop.
No, what the what is that?
Trust that what you're seeing really is something paranormal.
El Salvador.
And if you do catch something, email us at submitparanormal@gmail.com. Your footage could be seen right here on Paranormal Caught on Camera.